I'm gonna start this. Tejanee.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, girl.
I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too. I'm about to embarrass us real quick.
Go ahead.
Not us getting on here like we wasn't just struggling for 30 minutes.
I said people be expecting me, like my parents and my family, they be expecting me to know how to work this technology stuff. And
Mm-mm.
baby, I don't know nothing about that.
No, but thank you so much for coming on today and taking time out of your schedule and um, advocating for mental wellness and mental health. This is Beauty and Brains podcast, Cognitions of the Creatives, episode 1, featuring model Tejanee. Tejanee, can you tell us who you are?
So, okay, my name is Tejanee, and I'm 20 years old. I'm currently a full-time student at the University of Louisville. So, I don't necessarily do modeling full-time, and I actually haven't been doing it for that long. I actually did it for the first time in 2023 during the summer, and I remember I was at home because I had just quit my job and I was not in school. I had just got out for the semester and I was at home like literally not doing anything at all.
Okay,
And
hold on. So you're saying you just started modeling in 2023?
yes.
Girl, I never would have guessed. No, that's fire though. You so talented. So you started in 2023 and then you said COVID kind of impacted that journey for you.
So it's actually funny because my brother Desharie knows so many different creative people around Louisville. They're actually a bit older than me, so they've been connected to, I guess, more people longer than I have, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember I was hanging out and I was with some of his friends and one of them had asked me if I wanted to do like swimsuit modeling for their company.
Ooh,
And I was 15.
wow.
So I wasn't fully thinking, but I'm 15 and somebody is like, "Oh, do you want to model for my brand?" I'm like, "Yeah," like I'm not thinking twice about it. So,
Uh-huh. So you was
um
that comfortable at 15 with modeling like bathing suits?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
No, I'm saying that in the sense of I feel like, and maybe I'm projecting, but at that age, I was definitely trying to figure out who I was, and also because I'm tall, and that's something that modeling has helped me with is being
Yeah.
more secure with that. But I just feel like at that age, I would have loved to have had that confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. That's inspiring.
Well, it's a funny thing because actually, I take it back. I did not know that I was going to be modeling swimsuits because
Okay, okay,
I think, yeah, okay, so that's what ended up happening, but she didn't approach me asking me to model swimsuits. So
okay.
I still went, and it was in the Melwood Art Center.
Good.
And I remember, like going in there, meeting up with the girl who had asked me and we were talking about it and then she brings up the fact that it's going to be swimsuits, so then I'm thinking, oh, there's no way I can do this. I was like, there's
Uh-huh,
no way I
uh-huh.
can do this. And so
Right.
I called my mom. I called my mom and she was like, like, I mean, I'm 15. She obviously doesn't want me modeling swimsuits.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm like, I just like found out that it's not like clothes, it's like gonna be for like, and stuff like
Were you scared?
that. Yes. And then I remember her telling me, she said, call your daddy and tell him and see if he's okay with it. And when I tell you, when she said that, I didn't
Don't
even
worry
call
about
my
it.
daddy. I just walked out and said, I can't do it.
Don't worry about it. Oh
I said, I can't do
my God.
it.
The decision was made right then and there. Okay, mama.
I said it there, yes it was.
Yes.
So yeah, it it was actually something that I guess would have started before the pandemic, but obviously it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, so I didn't pursue with it
Yeah.
then. But so when I had found out about this opportunity, I remember I was on Facebook and I was just looking up different things going on around the city.
Hmm.
And I had seen like some fashion show on Instagram and I was like, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm literally not doing anything. And so I searched up like fashion show, like model call or something like that.
Hmm.
And it's so funny because I had found the audition that I went to a day before it actually happened.
Wow.
And so I ended up getting a ticket because I'm pretty sure there were limited spaces. And when I saw it, there weren't that many spots left. So I was like, oh, let me go ahead and get my spot
Hmm.
secured. And I was so nervous about going. I was still on the fence about going even the day of. But I was like, let me just go and see what happens and see if I have a good time. And I definitely ended up having a good time the first time.
Yeah, I love that, and that also goes to show like when we're having those moments of like I ain't got nothing else to do, and that it might seem like boredom, but it's also kind of inspiration, or I also feel like we just have those pockets throughout seasons of our life where it's just like an open door, like why would I not do this if this is something I've been aspiring to do? So I just really think that highlights intentionality when we do have a little bit of calmness in our lives,
Mhm.
you know?
Yes, yes. And I can definitely say that I haven't always been comfortable with the idea of doing something like that, hence the reason why I just did it for the first time last year.
Hmm.
It's actually been the people that I've surrounded, like my friends, they always inspired me to be okay with like being seen if it's something that I want to do. They
Yeah.
always motivate me to put myself out there. And I'm talking from as early as like eighth grade or ninth grade because I've always had the same interests and I've always been out loud about them to my
Hmm.
friends, but they've been the main ones to encourage me to take the first steps to pursue what it is that I want to pursue.
I know that's right. Shout out to your circle.
Yes,
Shout out to your peoples.
definitely.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, so within this time that you've started your modeling career, um, what would you say is like the main way you view wellness or mental wellness in general?
I just think that it's having contentment with the state that you're in and having an overall sense of well-being.
Hmm.
Um,
I like
I know
that.
yes, I know for me it's very important that I make time to take care of myself because I'm sure you know like it seems like the older you get, the more responsibilities you have, the busier you are,
Uh,
and you don't ever have any time for yourself. And
oh.
I didn't start to notice that until I got to college. And it seemed like I started my old schedule, like I would have never seen myself having as busy of a schedule as I do now because in my mind, I'm like, really, I don't think I do that much.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
my schedule says otherwise. I always feel like I have somewhere to be or something to do. And honestly, that's the way that I like it. But in that sometimes you can lose track of other things that are important, especially surrounding yourself. So that's why I definitely make sure I make it a point to take care of myself by, watching movies or reading if that's what I want to do or taking a day to myself or something like that. I try to do it often enough to where it keeps me afloat most of the time.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. The contentment with like the state that you're in, and then the other piece you said of just like making time for yourself, and your well-being in total. I think it mental wellness is more than the psyche and the mind, it's really holistic wellness because our thoughts impact our behaviors, and you can stress so much that you have heart disease, you know what I mean? So it's all very much intertwined, and I do think we have to steal that time for ourselves because nobody's going to put it on our schedule for us. I mean, shout out to the people who have that privilege, you know what I'm saying, to book their massages, or they got their personal chefs and all of that. That's goals for sure. But for people like me, you know what I'm saying, like the Gen Pop, I definitely have to make that time for myself, and that within itself is a task.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is.
So, with all of that being said, do you feel you have discovered, so far what you would identify as like obstacles to obtaining mental wellness in your career?
So I find that with my career and with school and with life in general,
Mm-hmm.
I have to make sure that I remind myself that everything will never always be in my control. And the thing with me is,
That's fact.
even even though I know this isn't true, but I think of it like, oh, if I'm in control of this, then it can go
Mm-hmm.
the way I want it to, so I can plan for it and everything can be right and perfect how it needs to be. But that will never be the case,
Yeah.
and I am slowly learning to accept that. And I think that in accepting that, I've been able to be less hard on myself, especially
Mm-hmm.
in certain areas where I
Yeah.
feel like I could definitely tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just try to take it day by day and do what I can day by day and not worry so much for, the future, but just take it day by day and do the best I
No,
can.
no, that's a gem. I feel like control has both, the positive and the negative connotations to it. Like, we need to have self control, but you can also be controlling. You know what I'm saying? So that that's also a part of my perspective, that everything is on a spectrum. It's never good to have too much or too little, or you know what I mean. There's always um a middle ground for everything. Um, so when things are not necessarily in our control, man, automatically I'm freaking out.
Yes. Immediately. Let something be
I'm
apparent in
freaking
place.
out.
And yes, like it's not good. We gotta work on that.
And so I think that is something that is extremely hard, based off of, for real, it can be like cultural influences or expectations, our industry, you know what I'm saying, expectations that we have out of our industry. And to be honest, I think no matter what industry, it's just that grind culture, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, it could be culturally for us, black people, or just in general, but I think like control is connected to perfectionism, kind of, and for black people, I think it's connected to keeping up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? So I could be going a little too deep. I don't know, but at the same time, control is just it shows up in so many ways. And to your point, I just think that can be a huge obstacle with us trying to control everything, and or not knowing where we do have control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and honestly, for me, I find it easier and easier to navigate throughout life not having control, because to mention the point of you when you brought it up about its connect like our connection with perfection, black people's connection to perfection,
Yes.
and realizing that I'm able to be okay with not having control, because I feel like we're already being looked at and we're already being like analyzed down to the smallest detail. And I feel like if I train myself to be fine with not being in total control, I'm able to also free myself from wanting to appear perfect for everyone else. You know what I mean? Especially as someone who's black, because I know that we are being analyzed in that way, if that makes sense.
No, it makes all the sense. Most definitely. I think one, you're definitely doing the self work, you know what I'm saying, to readjust um what that looks like to have that balance, you know what I mean, of striving for something, and that be it. You know what I'm saying? I think we sometimes kind of surpass that is a phase of like the the grit, you know what I mean, that it takes to get to a certain point in life. And so us trying to take control of that is definitely one, like shortening our journey, but also tapping into that instant gratification, you know, of having the expectations that we get things immediately like a microwave, you know, instead of those expectations, like you said, it's gonna be a windy road. It's not a straight one, you know what I mean? It's gonna be all types of things thrown into the road, um, and kind of releasing that need for control. You know, we can always have a sense of control and how we want to move about things, but wanting to control every single aspect and how you get to your next destination, that can be harmful.
Absolutely.
What has been your greatest outcome, or what has been something that you have just been blessed by, you know, with putting effort into yourself and making sure that you are mentally well within your creative industry?
So something that I I would say one of the main struggles of my young adult life would be like social relationships.
Okay.
I feel like even when I was a little girl, I feel like I was always one of the little weird ones. You know what I mean? Like
I feel it. No, I feel it for sure.
honestly, I don't feel bad about it. I can honestly say that about myself and be fine with that, but that's just honestly how I was. And I didn't I had friends in elementary, high school, middle school, all
Mhm.
three, but it was definitely the same group of friends, and I didn't do very well with talking to people who I was not already friends with. For
Okay.
me, it was just so difficult, and I felt like I didn't know how to do it, and like I feel like I just didn't know how to talk to people, so I didn't do it.
Okay.
And middle school, it was sort of the same way. I want to say I tried to,
Mhm.
but I still didn't really talk to many people. And by that time, I had already gathered like my homegirls that I still talk to now. So
Yeah. I
I had
love
them.
that.
I was cool. Like I had them. I was
Uh-huh.
a-okay. I was like, I don't have to meet another person. Like I'm so good.
Mhm.
So
Known
with
a
me not
friend.
already, yeah. So with me not already being good at making friends, and then me having the mindset of I don't need it anymore anyway, I
Mhm.
really wasn't talking to nobody. And so I was like that up until high school as well. And I remember actually like even thinking in high school, like, dang, like I wish I would have made more friends while I was here. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna know anybody going into college. And I was just like thinking about that. And honestly, I can say that the way that I used to think about gaining new social relationships or making new friends or anything like that, the way I think about it is so different now because of the first model call that I went to. Like,
Oh.
just that very day has affected me so much in a positive way when it comes to
Wow.
that.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's dope. Was that first model car was in Louisville, right?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Okay.
Yes, it
Shout out
was.
to Louisville
Yes,
for
shout out to
bringing
like
my girl out
always,
of her
always
shell.
shout out to Louisville.
Oh, that's love.
Yes.
I love that. Do you feel like looking back, like do you know why you had those troubles with like making new friends and stuff in school?
I've thought about it. I've thought about it, and I've acknowledged that that is who I was when I was
Mhm.
younger.
Mhm.
But I've never thought too deeply about why, because I honestly just feel like that's just how it was. Because I still
Yeah.
feel that way, but I've
Mhm.
experienced so much more life since then, so I know how to go about things a lot better because I have more
Yeah.
experience behind it. So I know that was just me, but I also think part of it could maybe be due to the fact that I have like three older brothers and no sisters. So,
Yeah.
well, I didn't talk to boys either. So I didn't talk to anybody. So I don't know why. I really didn't talk to them. So I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think we all just change over time, you know what I'm saying? It could, like you said, that was just you. That's just how you were then. I feel like, you know, you're 20 now, I'm 30 now, maybe another 20 and 30, we won't be what we are today, you know, or it'll just be some differences that we won't be able to say like I'm the same since I was 30 or 20. Like that's insane.
Yeah, because I think of how much life that I've been able to experience since then, like I said. And the first model call that I went to, it got me so much more comfortable with putting myself in unfamiliar spaces. Like that
Mhm.
was such an unfamiliar space for me. I had never done anything like that in my life, not to my memory.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving just feeling so good.
Aw.
And I was like, was just so fun. Like I want to go back. Like I can't wait to go to the next one. And I got more comfortable with like talking to people. I don't know what it was that sparked that, but I got more comfortable with talking to people.
Mhm.
And so I really believe that doing that is one of the main reasons why I feel like I do a lot better now with making new friends, because I now like putting myself, well, back then putting myself in an unfamiliar space is something that I couldn't even see myself doing.
Yeah.
But I do it all the time now, and it's so fun because you meet so many interesting people that way.
Yeah.
And I just think it's something that everyone should try. You know, you might not like it, but I think everyone should try it at least once.
Yeah. I agree with you. And I think the fact that you're speaking on social relationships just goes to show how much that is also connected to, you know, mental wellness. And um, there are so many like dimensions to us that need to be fed. You know, we can have all the money in the world, or we can have all these talents in the world. But if we don't have people, you know what I'm saying? Like that is just a whole nother different ball game. So I think you're definitely shining a light on um, the holistic wellness that comes with like mental wellness, because you definitely have hit on a few of those dimensions that I'll definitely unpack after our podcast. But I thank you, T. Jane, so much for coming on and being the first guest of the first season of Beauty and Brains. Do you have anything you would like to say before we get off of here?
Well, I would like to say thank you for having me on your podcast. I had so much fun talking to you. I really did. I was so excited for this, and it was just as good as I thought it was going to be. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you for getting up here. Like I said, taking your time out of your day and being an advocate and using your platform. I really do appreciate it. So we will stay connected, girl. I wish you many of blessings and peace and prosperity and all those things to you and your family.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And the same to you. I'll definitely keep in touch.
Yes.